most of the value of contemplation, you know, which is another word for inquiry, is to feel into things, to sense into them, because our feelings, our senses, feelings lead to senses. You know, feelings are connected to senses. It leaves interpretation behind. I've spoken about this before. And that's where a lot of the healing occurs, inner resolution. It's like understanding without the mind. And then maybe it'll pop in the mind and, oh wow, that was really about my father, and some kind of something about that. But really what's really happening is this mysterious kind of inner process that is wordless and not conceptual. And that's the kind of like my pointer for us in this group. If there was any kind of pointer of wanting to support that muscle, that the muscle of learning how to trust and surrender and let yourself be moved by this mysterious force that is divinely guiding, intelligently guiding, healing, revelation, opening, and surrender, leading to surrender. Because you can't take your own knowing and your own not this kind of knowing I'm talking about, but like the self, the personal self isn't part of the final part of surrender. It can be used to a point, you know, your own will. And your willingness, you know, check it out. Willingness, will, comes from the same word. So your own willingness, this is a really gentle, kind of organic way of holding will. And so that's the part you get to play, the part you bring is your, you know, willingness. And your devotion, you know, another word for devotion to something that's mysterious. And it's good that we don't know how to do it, because if we felt like we could really do it, we'd just mess it up. It's like, you know, Michael's married to a fabulous artist, and I'm sure some part of her gets out of the way. All the training comes to a point, but then something else comes in, you know. And so this willingness and the use of will to a point, but then this mysterious force takes over. And if we were using our own self-center to the very end, we'd just be mucking it up, because that is full of duality and polarization and worthiness issues and all that kind of weird stuff that just doesn't belong in the ultimate place of surrender. All that has to be given up. And so this muscle helps train us and prepare us to let go to that degree, over and over and over again. I know it's happened for each one of you here, but to where it becomes second nature. It becomes your primary way of operating in life, is with trust and surrender. And it's not even a doing anymore. It's just it's a movement, a natural movement through life. And if something comes up that shakes that ground, then that's looked at, giving another opportunity to know how to grow and learn how to surrender to it. If the bar gets raised, you know, life raises the bar. Well, how about this crisis? You know, how about this? It's not a mistake. You know, so many of us think we're just these victims to circumstances. And the winds are coming and blowing over our house down, and, you know, just metaphorically. Poor me. But the ultimate reason for it, if we're able to see it in this way and start holding it in this way, not just as a belief, but as an understanding that develops over time, it leads to this understanding. These mini surrenders in the moment lead to more and more trust building, to where when the larger things happen, we rise to the challenge. Challenge, and that word being used in the best sort of sense. If we're not challenged, we just languish. So the bar gets raised and the ante gets raised, and it's like, can you meet this? And can you meet that? And perhaps the bar has always been raised in different ways, but we've been asleep to it. But now we wake up more to it, and like we feel more. It just more is at stake because we're more on board. We're just sleepwalking a little bit before. Someone important to us dies, for instance, in the past, where more sleepiness was around, and it's like that hurt, there's grief. But now that more is on board inside, it's like that hurt comes in more deeply, it penetrates more deeply, and says, you didn't quite feel it all the way. And for a while I didn't really understand. I'm not a Byron Katie person. Some people I know and are, a good friend of mine what did the whole training to be a facilitator. It's almost like a master's program, very expensive and long. And I have respect for it. But I'm just not a systems person. It's just not how I am. It's not right or wrong. But one of the things that she said that I thought, really? Okay, I'm going to give you back what is it true? She says it's a friendly universe. And I thought, is that true? Can you really know that? Not as a like cocky thing, but because I really needed to go through a good period of feeling like the universe was neutral. So that meant I had to find out for myself. We each have to find out for ourselves whether this is a friendly place or not. In fact, I think it was Einstein. So it wasn't just Byron Katie that came up with this. We're all one. There's no individual who's like uniquely more got the goods than anyone else. We're all working on each other's knowledge and building on it. But Einstein said, one of the most important question is this a friendly universe? And the reason being is our whole life, our whole trajectory, our day-to-day, our moment is based on how we hold that, how we see that. And telling ourselves the truth about it, okay? Because I think that when ego consciousness is really leading and is really the center of one's existence, right? It does not seem like a friendly universe. And that's where the training gets to come in. It's muscle. Like telling ourselves the truth. This circumstance is arising, and how I meet it makes it friendly or not. It doesn't mean that it's like you don't have to have a belief system in place. Like it's ultimately friendly, and I've got to make that paradigm work for me. But in the moment, you're feeling, a bit of a victim energy or something. Just being honest, that's what we're all about here, right? We start with where we're at. No apology. And then you look into it and feel into the truth of it. And feel the subtle energies of it. The layers of experience within it, the sensations. And you sit with it until something opens up. Another kind of truth. It might include feeling like a victim, but something else also opens up. And when you do that over and over again with all kinds of things in your life, moment to moment even, opening and, just opening yourself to You can find out for yourself whether this place, the universe is friendly or not. Meaning that it is working for you, not against you. And I'm not talking about happy endings. You guys know me well enough probably by now that my life even now is not such a, in certain ways, happy ending, you know? I'm get environmentally ill. I'm not living with my daughter. There's because I don't have a home for her. It's not like you get awakened, whatever that quite is. And I'm not making any claims. I never do. But it doesn't mean that it's a type of happy ending. Okay? I just want to be able to give the truth to you about that. We're not in, a wish-fulfilling group here. We're in a group that is in love with truth for its own sake, not because of some imagined happy ending. And this is hard, and it's hard to do. But only the authentic ones wake up. Okay? But that doesn't mean that one can't be at ease, at peace, surrendered, an inner type of joy, however the flavor is. Everyone's different in how we run energy. In the midst of. So even though on the outside, this world, this life of mine, some things seem like happy endings. I got a great car. My daughter wrecked my car a while back, and I got a better car. So, some things in this worldly way seem like happy endings. And, I'm bound to have a home again. But the truth is that inside it's not like that doesn't matter, but something is really at peace and at ease. In the end, we're all going to die. We're going to be, whether it's sudden, I actually hope it's not quite sudden, because I kind of want to be a part of it. I want to be on board for it. It's the ultimate practice of surrender. That's not necessarily what we consider happy endings, right, in the moment. So can we be sober, honest, open, and practice the things that we're learning? This is a practice. Practice the things that we're learning to opening, how to be open and opening to. Which is the most beautiful way to live. And to me, that's what freedom offers. That's the state of freedom, is being open to, even when it's difficult. Okay? And so then in the end, we get to find out for ourselves, like I did, staying true, like just needed to have a nice long period where I felt like the universe was neutral. It didn't feel like it was unfriendly anymore. That didn't feel true. Like I wasn't a victim to my circumstances anymore, right? So that's lasted like maybe 5 years, a good while. And I'm not saying anyone is going to have any transition there. That might just leap over from feeling like it's an unfriendly place to a friendly place. That there's no right way anything happens, But for me, I told you guys before, I shared with you, I see this as a big science experiment. So we got to be truthful to ourselves. It's like, Brian, Katie, how can you talk about, not that it was a big deal, I hardly ever think about her, but it was just this one little piece because my friend is a student of hers and we're very good friends. She'd be like, well, it's a friendly universe, so everything that's happened to you is for your own good, blah, 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 and be like, right there. I'm not a faith-based person. I need to find out for myself. And really, these kind of like, paradigms, we need to find out in the moment to ourselves now how we feel. And if I tuned in now to something that was going on with myself, let's say back then when she would say that, I could probably find, because as I did, because that was the time period I was finding the beauty of something. But I couldn't leap into some kind of formula. So that's the offering, you know, that's what I'm well, not offering, but that's, you know, just sort of framework. And then finding out for ourselves in the moment, not necessarily making necessarily big decisions like getting married, but big decisions about whether it's a friendly universe, you know, but just like in the moment. And it does, and so changing our reference point of what friendly means. Does it mean a happy ending, or does it mean that we don't feel a victim to this moment and we can see what it's providing, the growth that it's providing, the openness to it, and inner reconciliation, which takes, again, going back to the surrender. The only way we really find that out for sure and for, you know, like for real, like where it really lives in you, as you, is through the process of surrender. And that opens up to a deeper type of intelligence.